What is up, you guys? This is All Day Any Day One on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Defiance 2050 video. And with this video, it's going to be an overview on the Crusader class. So I have the Crusader maxed out, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you which abilities and perks I preferred using the most. So you're going to have Hammer Time right away, and Hammer Time just lets you summon a hammer, but in all honesty, the hammer is terrible. The damage on it is just very, very bad, and it's a very slow ability as well, or a very slow weapon. So I wouldn't even use it as a weapon. I would only use it for the buffs that it can apply, and it doesn't apply any buffs at first, but it will with certain perks. So on the perks, you get Intimidate, Juggernaut, and Invigorate. So with Intimidate, with this, when you summon your hammer, you get increase in your damage reduction, and you get an increase in threat generation, and it lasts for 10 seconds. Now with this, when you use Intimidate, you don't have to, or when you use your hammer for hammer time, you don't have to hold on to it. You can just press triangle to cancel out of it, or Y if you're on Xbox. I'm not sure what it is on PC for canceling, but whatever it is, you can cancel out of hammer time. You don't have to use it you don't have to use it in order to make use of Intimidate. You just use the hammer, cancel out, and you still keep the buffs. And then with Juggernaut, you get, every time you get a kill, you get health back. So when you get it maxed out, you get 15% of your health back every 15 seconds pretty much. And then Invigorate, with this, you get the ability recharge anytime you are below 50% health. Now for the abilities, you have Blitz and Vortex. Out of these two, I would highly prefer Blitz because Vortex honestly isn't that great. What would have been nice is maybe if it slowed or stunned or even did damage to the enemies that you pull in, but you don't do anything, you just pull enemies in. And you can't even pull all the enemies in, you pull a few of them. And you can't pull bigger enemies like the Monarchs or Bulwarks or Tankers. They can't get pulled in either. But with Blitz, you can stun an enemy for 2 seconds. It's not that great, but I mean, it's still nice. And then you can also use Blitz to get up into high places. For example, when I was doing the main story, not main story, when I was doing the story for the Crusader, the Blitz, I was able to use Blitz to get up on the balcony because the doors were closed off and I couldn't get through it, so I just used Blitz to get up, and I was able to continue on with my story, which is nice that you can use Blitz for that extra like super jump. You don't even have to use it as an actual ability to do damage, but the damage on it does do some nice damage. Now for the next perks is going to be Harden, Fortitude, and Onslaught. Harden increases the amount of health, shields, and armor that you have, and it increases it by 10% if you get it maxed out. Fortitude, you get up to 20% delay decrease. No, I think it's 15. No, it's 15%, not 20. You get 15% delay decrease if you get it maxed out. And what it does is it reduces how long it takes for your armor or your shield to regen. So if it takes your shield to like maybe 4 seconds to regen, it'll be like maybe 1.4, 1.5 seconds or something like that. I'm not doing the math right now. I don't really care because I don't go with this. I don't use armor and I don't use shield, so that one was completely out for me. And then the other one is Onslaught. So with Onslaught, anytime you use hammer, well, when you use the hammer time ability, you can cancel out of it like you can with Intimidate, but whenever you use hammer time, you get 20% increased damage for 10 seconds. So that's why I chose this, because that's a big amount of additional damage you're looking at. And then for the last set of perks, you have Bulldozer, Grit, and Fearless. Bulldozer is definitely the best perk out of these guys, because with this, it says every time you hit an enemy, you gain a buff that increases your damage for 10 seconds. Cooldown is 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 5 stacks max. And then when you get it maxed out, 5 out of 5, you get up to 8%, and that's 8 times 5. So you're looking at 40% extra damage for 10 seconds, and then you have a 5-second gap of not having that extra damage, and then you just go after those 5 seconds, you get 40% extra damage again. And then if you combine that with the hammer time or the onslaught perk, you're getting 60% extra damage, which honestly is really, to me, is really nice. And then you got grit, take less damage when below 25% vitality. It's whatever. I don't really care for this because I'm honestly not trying to get that low health anyways. And then fearless, when you activate an ability, gain 20% movement speed and immunity to knockdown effects for a short period. So I actually liked fearless. It's not a bad ability at all. Fearless would only honestly be good with the ability called Bulwark, which I'll explain later, but out of the three, Bulldozer is going to be the best option. And then for the last two abilities, you have Meteor Smash and Bulwark. So Meteor Smash, you don't really see like a giant meteor or anything. It's like an invisible or really small meteor, but it does a lot of damage. And it is a 45-second cooldown. And it also has a pretty big AoE as well. So if there's a big amount of enemies surrounding somewhere, you can just use Meteor Smash and then you can kill a bunch of them. And then for Bulwark, it says activate a shield that absorbs all incoming damage for 5 seconds or until it breaks. When the shield expires, it explodes, dealing a portion of the damage absorbed to nearby enemies. Now, I haven't actually tried using this against like a boss that can do a lot of damage, but I'm assuming that it takes a percentage of the damage that you take, or like it says, or until it breaks. But honestly, I think this might be a pretty good ability if you're taking a lot of, like if there's a bunch of enemies near you, or there's a boss that does a lot of damage, you use Bulwark and you could probably put out a lot of damage back at them. So, but and for me, I just went with Meteor Smash because it's more reliable. All you have to do is look at the enemy and then you just activate the ability and it does damage. And it also does AoE damage as well. So you don't have to rely on having to take a lot of damage or having a lot of enemies doing something to you, whatever. But yeah. So that's pretty much it with the Crusader abilities. It honestly seems really nice. I actually like all of the perks. I like everything about the Crusader except for the hammer. I wish the hammer was either stronger, a lot stronger, or a lot faster. Like one of the two. It's really lacking in both. And the animation for the hammer is really bad as well. Like it looks terrible. But that is honestly it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little bit of gameplay as well with this, so you guys can kind of see how the damage and everything looks. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section. And if you thought this helped you out at all, then go ahead and leave a like, comment, and go ahead and hit that sub. This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and enjoy the rest of the clip.
thing is recharging its weapon. Shoot the charger core to stop it. Recharging its weapon. Watch out! The ceiling is coming down!